Welcome back to My GPS to Success. My name is Courtney May. So we've started our video series called Small Business Reality Check. And if you had joined us last time, you'll remember that we went over a statistic that said that 8 out of 10 businesses fail within the first 18 months. And I had expressed to you that it's my opinion the reason this percentage is so high is because that many new small business owners don't truly understand what they're getting into. They may have an idea of how much time and how much money it's going to take to start up and run a business successfully. But when they finally get into the trenches and they're running the business on a day-to-day basis, they get overwhelmed and they end up spending way more time and way more money than they originally thought. They end up getting burned out both mentally and physically, and a lot of them end up shutting the businesses down and becoming a part of the statistic that we went over earlier. So the goal in making these videos is to help you, the new business owner, by giving you a true and honest perspective on what you can expect when opening a small business. And we're going to go over many different kinds. Also, if you joined us last time, you'll remember that we went over the 5 different variables we're going to use to evaluate all the different types of small businesses that are out there. And the 5 are time, startup costs, monthly overhead, labor intensity, and whether your business is going to be linear or residual. But today, I want to focus on the first one, time, a little bit more in detail. When considering what type of small business you would like to open, you definitely want to take a good hard look at the amount of time that is going to be required to run the business successfully. Many new small business owners come from the corporate world, where they're used to working 40 to say 60 hours a week, Monday through Friday, having off on most weekends and having off on most major holidays as well. And when they switch gears and decide to open a small business, many of these people approach the subject of time in a totally incorrect way. The attitude I see among a lot of new small business owners is that now that I'm the owner of my own business, I'm going to work the hours that I want to work, and I'm going to hire a staff, an assistant manager, whatever it may be, to handle the rest. And this scenario is great in a perfect world, but running a small business is far from perfect and problems come up. Employees get sick, equipment breaks down, product runs out, and someone may be required to run to another location 20 miles away to get more product. Managers quit, usually at the worst possible times. And when these problems come up, you as the owner are going to be called upon to fix them. And when these problems come up over and over and over again, this can become extremely frustrating to someone who opened a small business with the impression that they were going to have more time flexibility and more freedom than they could have ever possibly imagined. So what is the solution? As a new business owner, the solution is to give yourself an honest time reality check. Instead of looking at the amount of hours that you are willing to work a new business, look at the amount of hours that are required to run the business successfully. And let me illustrate this with an example. Because I have experience in this arena, the example I'm going to use is a retail store in a shopping mall. Say you're a potential new small business owner and you're trying to figure out from a time perspective whether or not this is the right opportunity for you. What you want to do is figure out 2 things. First of all, the days of the week that the store is required to be open, and secondly, the total amount of hours the store is required to be open during any given week. And this is very simple to do. I went to my local shopping mall's website and found that the mall is open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m., and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Now keep something in mind, it's June, so these are regular mall business hours. But during the holiday season, November and December, these hours can increase significantly, and you as the owner are going to be required to have the store staffed accordingly during those additional hours. So now that we've done that, we can look at our totals. So a total for Monday through Saturday is 69 hours. And for Sunday, it's a total of 7 hours, bringing the grand total for a regular retail store to 76 hours. For a food retail store, you're going to want to add an additional 30 minutes to the beginning of each day for setup, and an additional 30 minutes to the end of each day for breakdown, cleanup, counting the deposit, whatever else may need to be done at the end of the night. So that will bring this grand total to 83 hours. So now that we have this information, we can analyze. And the first question you want to ask yourself as the potential new owner of this store is, am I okay with working or at least being available 7 days a week? Because as we had stated before, even if it's your day off on a Saturday and you're golfing, a problem could arise, such as a piece of equipment breaking down or a key employee quitting on the spot, and you're going to be required to fix that problem. If you say to yourself, I want to have my weekends off and I want to be totally unplugged, then this might not be the right opportunity for you. The second thing you want to analyze is the total hours. And the question you want to ask yourself is, am I okay with working a total of either 76 hours for a regular retail store or 83 hours for a food retail store? Because again, going back to the scenario of losing, say, a manager, you as the owner may be required to jump in and take over that leadership role until you can find another key person. And sometimes finding a key person takes 3-4 weeks, couple months, and then don't forget that you also need to train that person to get them up to speed to take over the leadership role. So you may be required to work a lot of these hours until that happens. That's it for the topic of time. Please join us next time when we'll be talking about one of my favorite subjects, which is startup cost. Thanks for tuning in.